Ladies and gents, welcome to another CDL Catchup here with Tunn on the EGL channel. It's been a couple of weeks actually since we have done one of these videos, but to be honest with you, it has been quite a busy time. Obviously been casting, etc. We've had other stuff going on in the EGL, but obviously the regular season is now over before the major does come on through for this current stage. And I just thought it would be a nice time to sort of discuss some of the stuff that has gone on and go through some of the memes on Reddit essentially. Let's kick it off with the funnies. This one really did get me in all the little comparisons to Doug with the 7 kills. Where's the formal one? This was formal dash.
They hit all anywhere.
7? 7?
Oh man, I hope they were roasting him for that one. That is really not fortunate from Bruce's side of you. Calista coming in with the no XM4, but I actually don't really know what's going on with OpTic, if I'm quite frank. I think it's looking at the ability and looking at the prowess that team has, especially in such a kind of Slayer-heavy game, then you would expect them to be doing significantly better, and I think Hex will be pulling his hair out with that one. There was a really funny tweet actually from, I think it was Madcat, who has just actually become a coach of Easter, if I remember correctly. Tweeting out as he giving out samples to the team before the games. We are witnessing a breakdown. Was this the tweet that ended OpTic's season? Man, I mean, FaZe really did walk through them, didn't they? And I don't think it's the end for them. They will bounce back. They are a good squad, but it's a bit of a lull. And we often do see teams go through this, rises and dips all the time. It's just the way that things go. How far the mighty have fallen. Empire fans and OpTic fans have been miserable since the start of Stage 3. It really hasn't gone well. And I mean, the only thing that really has went well for Dallas was, of course, the stadium in Verdansk. Obviously, the feature with the trophy in there and all the faces in there was really, really cool. We've always sort of argued the point in CoD Esports, and I am talking from day dot, that this is the sort of thing that needs to be integrated. Get the public player base on board. They'll say that and go, oh, cool, let's tune in. Who are these guys, etc., etc. It's just a fantastic advertisement, and obviously using Warzone, which is the Activision behemoth at the moment, to push that in the right direction. And it does make a lot of sense. I really, really like that. Would have been cool if it was in there maybe a little bit sooner, if you would complain at any point. But realistically, that is very, very cool, and I'm very, very happy that they've done that. And this one, 0.4 versus FaZe. Didn't expect that out of Dylan. Definitely didn't expect it out of Envoy. But he really is, as I said, taking it in his stride. I can't believe I set the record for the lowest KD in a series since the start of the CDL. I was streaking in the worst way possible. Something to talk about as well is the whole carry on that happened with hosting and where the server was based, etc., etc. Obviously, a lot of the OpTic players came out, accepted the fine to a certain degree, and started chatting shit. Although it wasn't really chatting shit, so to speak, it was more so just about the fact that obviously the server was wrong, and it seems as if a mistake has been made on the side of the referees or somewhere and down the line by somebody, and that's not ideal. That really doesn't set you up well. But then, I suppose if that's what OpTic want to take away from it, saying it would have been different, okay, then fair enough. But I think this one is a thought on a lot of people's minds from Slasher. FaZe is still the better team, wins that series online most of the time, but you can't act like that is okay. I think he's right to say that FaZe do go on to win that series, no problem. But this is why we're all excited to get back to LAN, to sort of see where everyone is really at and sort of get a good indication to where the LAN does lie at the moment in time. At this moment in time, it does obviously seem very much like Toronto are still looking like the best team at the moment in time. But when we get back to LAN, we'll see where everything lies. I still think they will be. Honestly, I think this whole argument, and we could go on a completely different spiel here, of like online players and online warriors, etc. In my, I don't want to say fair enough, to be vast experience, most of the time these players are always really good online anyway. Like, I mean, just because they kill you quick online, it's probably just because they're good. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there obviously is some factors in it, but at the same time, I would say 90% of these online warriors, they really have just come through to be good players anyway. Moving on from that, yeah, I always like this meme. Abeezy's contagious vibes might be Outlander's key to victory, potentially. But I mean, look, these guys do seem to be picking it back up after maybe a bit of a slow start. But let's move on to the bracket that has been produced from this whole thing, of course. And we'll just move back over to that in a second. Let's have a look then. Let's have a look through and make a decision on this bracket. we're not going to go through and do our picks. We'll save that for another video because content. But look at round 1. I mean, that is seriously juicy. FaZe against Empire to take on Ultra is wild. The winner of these games at the very top, round 1 and 2 at the very top here, they literally could decide who wins the next stage. Mutineers and Thieves going up against each other should be a nice one against the Subliners, who really have found a bit of a hard point for them ever since Hydra came over. Surge and Gorillas would take on OpTic Chicago, and Ravens or Legion taking on Rocker. I honestly think this is a bit more clear-cut from the bottom teams than it has been in quite some time. I know that the guys have been picking it up. Ravens, they did a good job to get a series yesterday against Seattle, at least anyway, so they are looking better. But at the same time, can't expect sort of miracles overnight. I think they'll go in against Rocker. I think they'll probably beat Rocker as well, but then they start going against teams who drop down from round number 1, which is an interesting one to say the least. But honestly, looking at it from the outside, I actually think Ultra are going to win it again. I think they look really impressive, and knowing those guys, that they're not, and I think take this in the greatest respect to anybody who does fall in this category, champions who maybe sort of lose that hunger. I feel as if Ultra, as a European team especially, and with sort of AMS coming onto that team in a certain respect, and Insight's favour at least anyway, that hunger is still going to be there. Yeah, you've won one, you'll want to win multiple. That's kind of where they're at. And look, I might be completely wrong on that mindset, but then there's some people who have won multiple times over and over. Is the hunger still there? I know that this Ultra squad will still be working. Marky B will not stop these guys pushing, and I think that's what they're going to continue to do, and I think they'll go on to win it again. And I'm a big fan of it, to be honest with you. I love all the guys on Ultra, and I like how they sort of conduct themselves as an organization as well. And yeah, I'm super interested to see if they do continue to do well. I think they will as well. It should be interesting though. Round 1, FaZe Empires, that's a ridiculous game. And then of course going on against Ultra, I think it will be FaZe against Ultra, and that's kind of where I'm sort of going to be gauging the tournament, to be honest with you. We are going to have a flick through in just a second of some more Challenger stuff. So let's actually transition over. I've been talking about it for a few minutes and I hadn't even transitioned over on OBS because I'm an idiot. Okay, let's delve into it. What I was saying, of course, the top 8 here, or top 6 I should say, who made it through to the playoffs, and of course the top 4 are the ones who are going to continue in the next Elite Challenger season. It was really interesting. Europe, I think, the games were fantastic. If you didn't watch them, they're really worth watching back. Very, very high level, and Amelia Strays eventually took it. I think it was around 10 last map. There was 2 best out of 5s that went all the way to the wire. And then the Mavericks Gaming Club Elevate game was just stupid. I mean, it was super with 2 1v3s, I think, in a row to send us to around 11 in the map 5, which was just insane to me. But nonetheless, Amelia Strays are the one who come out on top. Chaxton, Nuke, Piero, and Watson. I think if anybody had told me at the beginning of the European Challenger side of things that these guys would go on to form a team and not only win it, but win it after a really good record in the regular season as well. We don't have that on there because this is just the playoff section. I'm not going to go searching. Elevate coming in second as well. Not too much of a surprise. They're a very, very good team. Mavericks in third is a surprise for me. These guys are good. And it's actually somebody, I think, as far as I'm aware, it was Yako who's going over towards Timor instead of Invidian. So that's going to mix things up there. But August coming in fourth will be a disappointment for them, knowing a few of the guys on that team. And it has just started torrentially, and I mean torrentially, raining outside my window. Anyway, that's irrelevant to the point. But my point being on this one for Europe is that the competition is super stacked, and really I'm not 100% sure who wins the next one, because that really has thrown, and a very British saying coming in here, a cat amongst the pigeons. This is, everyone was kind of expecting Elevate, August, Timor to kind of be there all the way through. Because of what happened in the last couple of years, it has been that sort of top teams sort of elevated away. However, in this scenario, to see Amelia Strays there and do it so well does sort of create a questionable sort of scenario of like what's going to happen next in EU. What happened in NA, I mean, to be honest with you, it is sort of topsy-turvy. These guys have been all over the place, to be honest with you. Seeing Fantastic Four just in 5th surprised me. Subliners Academy didn't do as well as I thought they would. UT Crew had a really good time of things. Look, I think LAG Academy as well is a little bit... there's no consistency with North American challengers, and I think it is hard to find that consistency just due to how many of them do get moved, of course, into that full CDL franchise squads, and that does make it hard to sort of establish your dominance, so to speak. But this is how it kind of went down, and that was obviously Easter taking it with Gravity, John, Jerd, and Sib. Very, very good squad, and of course going on to win that one fairly convincingly in the end in the knockout bracket. I don't think we actually, it was the Challengers one there. No, that's a playoff bracket. Yeah, okay, against UTC. Does make sense. A 3-1. Just didn't COD gameplay. I didn't like that bracket, how it was put together. Nonetheless, though, I think that it's still like obviously super competitive over in North America. I think it would just be nice to have like a nice little period of time where players aren't getting taken away. I think if anyone's going to get potentially taken away into some sort of team at this moment in time, it potentially could be Sib if FaZe have a really bad time of things in the finals. Maybe OpTic will be looking elsewhere if things don't pick up. There's been other players who've been playing really, really well within this area, and look, it's nice to see John back up there. It's really good, nice to see Jerd in there as well. The shout out to the European guys still doing the business, and these guys, as mentioned, I think it was Easter who took Mad Cat on as there you go, assistant coach. So it's Phoenix in there as the main one, and Mad Cat going into his first coaching role. Really excited to see how he does. But we're going to close it out with that. The challenger scene was really, really good. Things obviously continuing shortly, and going to be interesting within the next season, which will be coming up very, very soon. Thank you to the man who's just invited me to a League of Legends game now. And yeah, we're just super excited to see how things do continue in stage 3. What happens with OpTic? Let me know in the comments below what do you think of all these topics and how you enjoyed the episode of CoD Catchup. And please leave the video a like, subscribe if you have not. We'll see you for the next video.